Today, from Ford Field in Detroit, it's Week 1 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Detroit Lions taking on the Chicago Bears.
The seating capacity is 65,000 at Ford Field, and we are right around that number today. A good crowd on hand and seemingly ready to go in the Motor City. Both teams emerging from the Ford Field tunnels just a short time ago. And, of course, the loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the Chicago Bears.
And no run back on this one, so the new season will begin at the 25-yard line.
So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering
I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
The full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
From the gun, here's Swift.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
On 3rd down, Douglas. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And it's fielded at the 34. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Bears take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time.
They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
Coming out of Ohio State, one of the top prospects in the NFL draft, and it was so big that they moved up in the draft to get him, to make sure that they had him. And, boys, he got the full package. Loves the game, big-time arm, 4.4 speed, so good that another quarterback prospect said to him, "What's it feel like to run 4.4? Everybody wants to be that fast."
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
To throw is Fields. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney.
And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first.
I always appreciate runners who understand situations. That was just 3rd and inches. No reason to dance around in the backfield and try and break off a bigger play. Just go pick up the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
On 1st down, Fields.
Forced out to his left. And I think the ball's out. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. Looking to throw again on 2nd down.
Fields.
Calling a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down.
Well, you could almost see his eyes light up defensively. I mean, as a linebacker, that's about as quick as you can get to a quarterback.
So what did your third grade teacher teach you about straight lines, right? As soon as you have those, you take full advantage of them. He found a gap in the offensive line, got to the quarterback, and put him on the deck.
And he'll hit the deck, but he did not get there. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a fourth down situation. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on fourth down. And well done here. That one will kick out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? But it definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive.
And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Now a carry for Swift.
And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Throwing on first down, Douglas. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40.
A nice completion there for the first down. And, Charles, you think about the quarterbacks of recent vintage that have been thrust into action week 1. It's no guarantee of future success, but we sure have seen some good ones.
We certainly have, partner. How about Joe Burrow with the Bengals in 2020? He was excellent. Kyler Murray with the Cardinals. The best part about his game has his team right on the brink of the playoffs. And Deshaun Watson has won division titles after having started from day 1.
Right back to Swift again on 2nd down.
And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
They'll try and run here with Swift.
And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw.
And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
It was Roquan Smith who got his big hand in there to knock it away. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
They run out of the gun with Swift.
And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Tanner Muse.
He's the culprit, causes a loss of 5, and it brings up 4th down. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And that will come the offense as they take over. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their 2nd drive of the game.
And, Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, That's not as much fun watching teams trying to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
Fields on first down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. On the handoff, this is Swift. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he'll work this forward for about 3. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
To throw on 2nd down, Douglas. It's caught by OBJ. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears 14. No score after 1 on EA Sports. The Lions into the red zone for the first time. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. 53 yards rushing for him in this first half as he is looking in mid-season form here in the opener. From the 2, here's 1st and goal. Swift. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. DeAndre Swift punching it in from a yard away as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of the season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
Fields throw pulled in by Robinson here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Meanwhile, Fields' throw complete here to Kmet. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions 36.
I know I spend a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. And he'll be taken down at the 34. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is third down. Now Fields. They'll set up the screen to Herbert. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And it'll be fourth down. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
So after knocking through the field goal, here's Bass to kick it away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. DeAndre Swift heading back out with his Detroit teammates.
And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here.
They'll start on the ground with Swift.
And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Here's a handoff to Swift. 66 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium, because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
2nd and 6.
Back to throw. Douglas. Now he'll square up and throw deep left sideline. He rifles one that's intercepted. Carlton Davis picks it.
And the Bears will have the football as this is taken up past the 30.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Touchdown, Chicago! Cole Kmet, 57 yards, and the Bears have taken the lead.
Extra point by Bass, up and good.
And the lead is now 10-7.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. DeAndre Swift heading back out with his Detroit teammates.
And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat, make sure he touches it a few times, but as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up?
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
On first down, Douglas quickly into the hands of Beckham. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Another completion there, and what a big moment in a young quarterback's life, that first NFL start. And Charles, obviously they want him to win games, but if they're looking at him under a microscope in his first month or so, what do you think they're hoping to see from him?
Well, for every question they'll have for him, they should have for themselves as a coaching staff, because it's not just how quickly can he learn the offense, it's what they can teach him, right? How can he build a relationship with his receivers? And, of course, how open is he to learning? And, of course, how open are they to giving him things that he can put in place on the field?
Hey, baby, this ain't good enough for us.
Well, sometimes when you try to defend OBJ, you're going to get a PI call.
He might get a PI called at just about any point during his route. And I think a lot of teams have taken the whole philosophy of, hey, just go ahead and do what you have to do and hope eventually they'll quit calling it. But not in this case. They dropped the flag for the pass interference.
Now we've got whistles, and the man slow to get up here is Jones. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. They'll wind up losing 3 there on the sack, and that makes things tougher here on 3rd and goal. From the gun, Douglas trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. And now off to the races down the right side. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown.
They were in a very good position to come up with a go-ahead score there. A really good drive. Instead, it turns into 6 points going the other way. Psychologically, I don't know what that's going to do to them.
So as a coach, you're looking at that as at least a 10-point swing, right? Because they had the field goal in their back pocket.
They certainly did, and you're right. At least a 10-point swing, maybe more.
Extra point by Bass, up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. DeAndre Swift heading back out with his Detroit teammates. Now he's having himself a little bit of a banner game. His team right now, though, losing.
Needs a little bit of help, and I kind of equate it to a basketball game where you have the big score, and sometimes your strategy is, okay, he can go ahead and have all of his points. Let's hold down everyone else, and that's the way you win the game. And right now, he needs everyone else to start scoring, quote-unquote, as he's been.
Yeah, and he's hoping to keep it close so maybe they can keep it on the ground, not start to go through the air as much.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
On 1st and 10, Douglas. Oh, that was sailed a bit, but the catch is still made. Second quarter action, 1:56 remaining. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. Throwing on 1st down, Douglas. And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. And this is picked up by the Bears. And they bring this one back. A fumble return for a Bears touchdown. So this defense clicking early in the year. Week 1, the return for a touchdown.
The organization made a concerted effort in the offseason to improve this defense. I have to say they like the early returns.
Bass on for the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them, the coaches from all the way up here. They were adamant, you've got to hold. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. And they will finally stop him as he's down to the 40-yard line. Certainly not what he was hoping for. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And with that, our journey begins, Charles. Week 1 in the books. Going to be a great season.
Oh, man, so much to look forward to. Isn't it nice to get a really good game right out of the gate? Preseason behind us. All these games count now, don't they?
Yeah, this is the exciting time with just 1 week gone and plenty of weeks to come. So for Chicago, hey, you get a win, you get it on the road. You can't ask for much more than that to start the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, for Detroit,